Hello and welcome back to An Old Man Watches, where today I will be talking about the 1974 blaxploitation martial arts grindhouse that is TNT Jackson. The film takes its name from its main character, Diane TNT Jackson. She'll put you in traction, or so the movie's tagline says. TNT is an African-American karate black belt, a foxy mama who's always willing to smack down any jive-talking fool who crosses her. The fools in question are an underground drug smuggling ring based in Hong Kong. They killed TNT's brother, or so she suspects, so she packs her bags, including, I imagine, a heck of a lot of hairspray for that 70s hairdo of hers, and jets off to Asia to lay down some payback. Now that'll be easier said than done, of course, even for a woman with TNT's martial arts skills. The Underworld Gang is a big one, meaning it's got plenty of minions, and also a couple of competing factions within it, whose own squabbles may complicate TNT's agenda. Finally, the US government has their own plans for the gang, and their agent is not best pleased that TNT's independent mission of vengeance is disrupting those plans. All in all, it's a recipe for lots of punching and kicking. And also nudity, because make no mistake, this is not just a blaxploitation movie in the sense of exploiting the African American audience, it's also one in the sense of being an out-and-out exploitation film, with plenty of flimsy excuses for the major female characters to be topless. The film was originally written by actor Dick Miller, who is perhaps best known today for his supporting roles as Mr. Futterman in Gremlins and Gremlins 2, but whose biggest body of work was appearing in the films of Roger Corman. He was in more than 50 Corman productions over the space of some 5 decades, including playing the lead in both Bucket of Blood and the original The Little Shop of Horrors. The film's final script, however, was apparently substantially rewritten from Miller's draft, apparently at Corman's behest. Even though Corman wasn't officially credited on the movie, it was distributed by his New World Pictures organisation, and he had plenty of influence to exert that way. I don't know the details of what was changed, but given Corman's eye for the bottom dollar, I wouldn't be surprised if he instructed them to amp up the sex and cut anything that sounded expensive to film. So, how is the resulting film? Well, it's no coffee, not even a foxy brown, and there's one key reason for that. While the title character seems like she could have been written expressly for Pam Grier, then at the height of her box office success, TNT is not played by Pam Grier, she is instead played by former Playboy playmate Jeannie Bell. I suspect Ms. Bell's primary qualification for the job was that she came a lot cheaper than Grier. She certainly wasn't picked for her acting skills. She's decidedly limited in her performance, with her tough talking in particular being far from convincing. She also, despite being tall, lacks Grier's physicality. While neither woman has any martial arts training, and trust me, it shows every time Bell adopts a supposed martial arts stance, Grier was an actor with a real knack for confident body language, a real swagger to her. I might never believe that Grier was a karate expert, because I could absolutely believe that she was capable in a fight. Bell, not so much. Now, of course, while there are plenty of martial arts experts who have become actors, an actor certainly doesn't need to be a trained fighter to appear in a martial arts film. Learning a few stances and how to carry themselves outside a fight should generally be enough, because once the actual fight scenes begin, you can always use the magic of cinema to substitute in a body double with the right training. Now, this option was taken wherever possible with TNT Jackson, because there really wasn't any alternative, but it runs into an immediate problem, which is that the fight scenes are terrible. And this is not the fault of Bell's stunt double, mind you. Her appearances in the movie are generally the film's best moments of fight choreography, but this is undermined by 3 factors. The first is very easy to tell the stunt double apart from Ms. Bell. They don't look particularly alike. The second is that one of the movie's longest and most involved fight sequences is contrived to occur when TNT is wearing only a pair of panties. Obviously, a major objective of the scene is to serve up plenty of nudity, which means the camera needs to be fairly close for much of the so-called action, which means that it has to be Ms. Bell, flailing somewhat unconvincingly, whom the camera is pointed at. The third problem is that even if Jean Bell had been a trained martial artist, the majority of the choreography, construction, and editing of fight scenes in this movie is so poor that she would have looked inept regardless. The staging of the fight scenes is so loose that you can easily see that the fighters aren't touching each other. So we get scenes where TNT quote-unquote kicks a guy and he reels backward, despite the fact that we can clearly see her foot came nowhere near touching him. I suspect that this is the clearest evidence that, at least on the production side, TNT Jackson was viewed as a skin flick first and foremost, with the martial arts aspect being merely to cash in on the growing popularity of such films following Enter the Dragon. So, overall, TNT Jackson is a bad martial arts film featuring a thoroughly unconvincing lead actor. It also has a very thin plot and cheesy dialogue. But is it entirely without redeeming features? Well, no, not quite entirely. Specifically, it has some decent supporting cast members who probably, to be frank, deserve to be in something better than this movie. The first of these is Stan Shaw, a former martial arts instructor turned actor. He plays the Underworld gang's second-in-command, and he does so with convincing charm and arrogance and just the right amount of sleazy menace. It also probably doesn't hurt that his character got some of the best lines in the film. Still not particularly great lines, mind you. This is not a well-written movie on any level, but he delivers them with conviction. And then there's Pat Anderson, who plays Elaine, the girlfriend of mob boss Sid. Elaine is antagonistic to TNT from the start, for more reasons than it initially appears, and the verbal and sometimes physical spats between the two women are among the times that the film actually has some verve. I give the credit here to Anderson. She brings some real energy to the role of Elaine, and she's much more convincing in the scenes where she's asked to be physical. Or perhaps they just did a better job of getting a body double of her that looked like her. Alas, the movie did find a way to ruin even this glimmer of enjoyment. I found Elaine's ultimate fate very unsatisfying, but that's no fault of Pat Anderson's performance. Ultimately, if you want to watch a film about a street-savvy African-American woman wreaking vengeance on those who've wronged her, go watch Coffy or Foxy Brown. Those are the movies that this movie wants to be, but it falls well short. Next time, well, bad movies didn't just happen in the 1970s, as the 2008 offering Mutant Vampire Zombies from the Hood amply demonstrates. But that's next time. For Halloween of all things. Until then, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you've seen today's movie, let me know what you thought of it.